All right, we get a couple application problems here in 12.1, and this one talks about you're going to rent a spot at a convention center, and the cost is to rent the facility is $150 plus, okay, that's plus $25 per person attending. Okay, so if we take a look at that, it says so the cost to rent it would be and hopefully you can see here, I'll slide it over a little, would be 150 plus 25x, where x is the number of people attending. Okay, so this is x here. So what we could do is you think about if 10 people attended, that would be $250 plus the base fee of 150. You would have to pay $400 to rent it. Okay, so if you anticipated 10 people attending, it would be for $400 rental, okay, for the facilities. So this first step, it says write a rational expression that represents how much you would need to charge each attendee. Now remember, the attendees, that's X, that's the people attending. So if you want to figure out, if you have a total cost, all right, if you have a total cost and you want to figure out how much to charge each person, then you just divide the total cost by the number of people. Okay, so this is going to be the charge per person. All right, well, we already know that this is the polynomial, or the expression that represents the total cost. So what I would have is 150 plus 25x over x. Okay, and that would be how much you would need to charge each person. So you could test, you could test that with 10 people. All right, just put 10 in here. Okay, if you put 10 in, you have 250 plus 150 is 400. 400 divided by 10, you'd have to charge each person $40. Okay, so that's just one. Oh, that's the second part of the problem. It says, well, if 10 people were attending, I must have already done this. So we'll put the 10 in there and work this out. And you already know the answer, but I'll just write it out for us here. So we have 150 plus 250 over 10, and then we have 400 over 10, which is $40. Okay. The third part of this problem just says what value would make this problem not work, or undefined, or and if you think about it back from the beginning of this section, we set the bottom equal to 0, and so this is the value that doesn't work. Okay, x equals 0. All right, well, we'll look at I think we have time to look at the other application problem here. So it says Amelia wants to join Fit for Life gym, and it says at base fee of $50. So there's the base fee of $50, and then you have to pay $7 per class. Okay, well, the thing is, the instinct from doing the last problem is you want to kind of do this. You say, okay, it's 7x. But they throw in a little twist to this problem. It says where 5 classes are for free. Okay, so what we have to do on that is we have to say, oh, all right, we actually get some classes free, so we have to alter this in this manner. And if you think about this, and it takes a little practice on this, but if you put 5 in here, 5 classes, how many classes did you have to pay for if you took 5 classes? Well, 0, right? Because you get 5 classes for free. So if you put 5 in here, 5 minus 5 is 0. But it's on the 6th class, right? So on the 6th class, because you only get 5 for free, you'd be paying for your first class. So 6 minus 5 is equal to 1. Okay, So hopefully you can mess around with that a little. And that's what writing equations is tricky. You have to mess around with them a little bit until they actually work, and you have to test numbers in there and make sure that it makes sense to the information that's given. Okay, so then it says write a rational expression that represents the average price per class where X is the number of classes. Well, we already know to find the average price or average, we would divide by the number of classes taken, very similarly to the last example we are looking at. Okay, so this is the total cost for X number of classes. And to find the average, we would divide by the number of classes that we took. Okay. See, this affects the average cost because we did have to pay that base of $50. Okay. So it says what would be what is the price per class after taking 30 classes? Okay. So we would have 50 plus 7 times 30 minus 5 over 30. And then we have 50 plus 7 times 25. Oops, I'm running out of space here a little bit. Over 30. So this comes out to be 50 and 225 over 30. Okay. So we have 225 over 30, and when we divide that out, let me just look at my notes here because it's not the easiest division for me to do in my head. We have 225 divided by 30, we get $7.50 per class, okay? So, sorry, I kind of worked a little bit sideways there, but hopefully you can follow it, all right? And then what values will make this rational expression undefined? Well, the value that would make it undefined would be 0, but also the ones that make this problem a little wacky are if we took one for any value of X is less than or equal to 5. So think about if you put 1 in here, you would end up getting a negative number here, or 2. So this isn't my favorite part of the problem here, but it does make you think what values really don't make sense in this problem. But this is truly the only value that makes it the rational expression undefined. It's just these other values, don't make sense in this application problem. Okay. Well, hopefully that helps a little with the application problems. They do take longer. Take your time and just make sure your equation works. That wraps up 12.1, and we'll get started on 12.2. Thanks.